Ka-ching!
Ahead on Business Unusual, an animation studio draws on fresh talent in a stale economy. Hello and welcome to Business Unusual. I'm Susan Lasovich. The name Klasky Csupo may not ring a bell, but Rugrats should. It just may be the most watched children's cartoon in the world. Not only that, the show just celebrated its 10th anniversary. Klasky Csupo is the largest independent animation studio in the world and the brains behind the Rugrats. Gayla Hope caught up with the CEO Terry Thoren and co-founder Gabor Csupo for an inside look at this history-making company.
Excuse me.
Terry Thoren is wearing several hats today. He is the CEO of Klasky Csupo's animation studio.
We are the United Nations of animation.
The organizer of today's World Animation Celebration and the owner and publisher of Animation Magazine, now in its 15th year of publication. Thoren's been organizing the World Animation Celebration every other year for the past 20 years.
Even though we're called the World Animation Celebration, it's always been a festival of opportunities. It's a lot more convenient to come here and do business room to room than it is to drive around Los Angeles or to fly to Portland or Seattle or to Hong Kong or to Korea.
This year, Thoren took over the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood, where companies set up shop around the pool to show off new products, hopefully pull in new business, and make new contacts.
It's actually more direct.
There are also hourly seminars going on inside the hotel. Terry Thoren is known as the ambassador of animation because of his connections in and knowledge of the business. That made him the perfect candidate in 1994 to take over as CEO at Klasky Csupo.
Klasky Csupo started off as a commercial division and making commercials, making titles and trailers 20 years ago. Then, with the success of The Simpsons, our core business became television. When I joined the company, we decided we also wanted to become a movie company. I was like a kid in a candy shop. Here are these geniuses who have surrounded themselves with geniuses from all over the world, and they're creating some of the best characters I could ever imagine being involved with it. And I've always been a big promoter of animation. What they needed was someone to facilitate the process, help the company develop a long-range plan.
Thoren helped expand the independent company, beefing up the commercial division and adding 2 music labels piloted by Gabor Csupo. He recruited more artists and found a new building to house the expanded Klasky Csupo team that grew from 38 to nearly 500.
Klasky Csupo now is a huge company on Sunset and Vine with a giant building. It's sort of like some kind of, which is a huge kind of Hollywood success story.
Klasky Csupo was probably the most influential cell animation studio in the 90s. They transformed the way viewers look at programming, the way producers think about programming, and the way broadcasters consider what is appropriate for kids to watch. Every decade has a look and a feel. We had Hanna-Barbera, we had Marvel, now we really have the age of Klasky Csupo.
It was Gabor Csupo and their creative design team that came up with the color palette for The Simpsons. At that time, they were thinking about doing The Simpsons in black and white. And Gabor convinced them to use the blue hair and the yellow skin.
Klasky Csupo did the animation for The Simpsons' first 3 seasons. That was the turning point.
I got an idea. Follow me.
In 1991, Klasky Csupo's own show, Rugrats, premiered on Nickelodeon. Stories about life as seen through the eyes of crawling babies viewed at carpet level.
The Rugrats is the most watched show for children in the world today.
The show just celebrated its 10th year, and Klasky Csupo's Rugrats received a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame in June.
Television and movies are about 40-40, and then the other businesses are 20%.
Thoren says they want to flex their muscles in other areas and are forming a new production company called Global Tantrum. Programming will be for 18 to 35-year-olds. In a business environment where many companies are slowing down or even laying off, Klasky Csupo is flourishing.
There's an audience out there that's hungry for our content. They're looking for something different.
Another Klasky Csupo production, The Wild Thornberrys, is second in the ratings after Rugrats on Nickelodeon. Eliza travels with her parents in a motorhome and is able to speak with animals.
Killer blocked.
Rocket Power is relatively new, along with a wave of other programming, including As Told by Ginger.
You know how I feel about Ian.
A young adolescent girl experiencing the realities of growing up. If you work at Klasky Csupo, however, you don't necessarily have to grow up.
Bye-bye. If you loved high school and if you had a great high school experience and you loved gym, you loved walking down the hall and seeing your friends, and you loved lunch, and you loved certain subjects, Klasky Csupo, we run it like high school or college. It's a college campus.
They sure have good food at Food Feathers.
Arlene Klasky and Gabor Csupo are incredible artists, and they have a particular vision for creating content that is unique to the entire world. And my job is to create a cocoon for the creative process.
We wanted to do something more alternative, more daring, more strange, more bizarre, just more fresh. And we believe that the kids will recognize that and understand it and accept it. We do a little bit more alternative, a little more, you might call it hipper or fresher or newer and less traditional. You know, in the last 10, 15 years, we always feel like any given day we're just so busy, but you can't get comfortable with that. You always have to think ahead a couple of years and push it and develop new shows and just keep going.
Gabor Csupo knows how important it is to keep going. He escaped from Hungary in 1975 during communist rule through a 7-mile train tunnel leading into Austria.
People saying that this is the land of opportunities. I think it truly is. You just have to believe in what you're doing and go for it and just keep doing it. Because, you know, when I came over here, I had 500 vinyl LP and maybe $30 in my pocket. And I just said, okay, I don't care. Let's sit down and keep drawing, you know. And I enjoyed. I didn't care if I had no money to eat. I just, you know, I loved it. I loved the freedom. And you only see this really when you come from another country. You grow up and there was like a lot of restraints and the system and all that kind of stuff, no possibilities.
Today, the possibilities are endless. Klasky Csupo's recipe for success: good writing, character design, music, and voice casting.
Stubby, there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. We're trapped in the closet of doom. We're not trapped, you guys. And this isn't no closet. It's a time machine.
For Business Unusual, Gayla Hope, CNN Financial News, Hollywood.
Even if they sometimes lead.